What's going on, YouTube family? This is your man Pristine, back with another video. Yes, got a special guest in the building. Know what I mean? Here before you, ladies and gentlemen, is the OnePlus 8. Got it in the house to do an unboxing, and you know how I do in typical unboxing fashion. You know, I cover all the specs, the price. You know, we're gonna crack this thing out of the box, take a look at all the inbox contents along with the device, poke around with the hardware, with the software, take a couple camera samples, and then we'll go ahead and close this thing out. You know what I mean? Now, I'll try to keep this video as short as possible, but you guys know that my videos are more geared towards a teaching experience, and so I try to show as much as I possibly can so that if you decide to commit to this device, you know exactly what you're getting into. All right. Wait, now, first off, like I said, the 128 gig variant here, that's going to cost you $699, so $700. We've got a 6.5 inch fluid HDR10 plus AMOLED 1080 by 2400 pixel display. All right, we've got a 20:9 aspect ratio. We've got a 402 ppi pixel density. We've got Corning Gorilla Glass on the front and the back. We've got a dual nano SIM, so you can have nano SIMs. There's no SD card slot to expand the memory, but you can use dual SIMs in this device if your little heart desires. We've got a 90 hertz refresh rate display. The weight of this phone is about 180 grams, which comes out to 6.35 ounces. We do have an aluminum frame. We've got an 88.7 screen to body ratio. This phone is beautiful. You'll see what I'm talking about when I get it out of the package here. Now, the internal specifications, we've got the Snapdragon 865 processor. That is the current flagship processor of 2020. So Snapdragon 865, we've got an octa-core CPU. We've got an Adreno 650. We've got, again, 128 gigabytes of storage that cannot be expanded, so there is no SD card slot. We've got 8 gigs of RAM, Android 10, and we've got Oxygen OS 10.0. All right. Now, for the cameras, we've got a triple lens on the rear. We've got a 48 megapixel sensor with f1.8 aperture. This is a 22 millimeter wide angle lens. All right, we've got a 16 megapixel f2.2 aperture ultra wide lens. And then we've got a 2 megapixel macro that's sitting at f2.4 aperture. Okay, now the front camera is also a 16 megapixel sensor f2.0, and this is a wide angle lens. And we do have PDAF, optical image stabilization, dual tone LED flash, HDR. We do have 4K recording at 30 or 60 frames per second. With the rear camera, with the front camera, we have HDR, and we can only record at 1080p at 30 frames per second. And we do have gyro electronic image stabilization on board for the front camera. Now, for the battery, we've got a 4,300 milliamp hour battery. Now, some of you guys may kind of question the battery life with this thing because, you know, we're living in a day and age where we're seeing, you know, 4,500 milliamp hour batteries. That seems to be like the norm, you know, with a lot of the flagships nowadays. So, you know, 4,300 milliamps, I mean, that's still a pretty decent sized cell. But I mean, I guess, you know, stacked up against today's standards with a lot of these phones that have 5,000 milliamps, I mean, that may seem kind of small. So definitely looking forward to, you know, using this device as my daily driver and just seeing what type of battery life that we get. And, you know, I'll talk about that obviously in future videos that I put out for this device. All right. Now we've got a 30-watt fast charger in the box. Okay, the speed of the fast charging has been enhanced. OnePlus is claiming that you can now get up to 50% charge in 22 minutes. So if your phone is just completely dead, you're at 0%, you can plug in, and in 22 minutes you'll have 50%. That's blazing fast. That is ridiculously fast charging. Okay. Say if you're at 50% and you just want to top up real quick, you know, because you know you're going to be, you know, night on the town or whatever, you're going to be away from a charger, or you just want to have some additional staying power, then man, you know, just throw your phone in the charger for about 15-20 minutes and you'll be ready to go. You'll be ready to rock and roll. If not at 100%, you'll be pretty damn close to it. All right. And that's one thing for sure that has gotten better over time. I mean, I've had every OnePlus device since the OnePlus 3. And man, yeah, that fast charging capability is definitely is something special. All right. Now, again, we've got a Type-C reversible connector. We've got USB 3.1. Sadly, we do not have wireless charging on this device. Now, I wish that OnePlus would have standardized wireless charging between both devices. If you want wireless charging, you're going to need to get the OnePlus 8 Pro. And see, that's what I'm saying. There's always got to be these little caveats, you know, little things that one device has over another to get you to pay that extra money, you know. Whatever, man. It is what it is. All right, now, additional features, we've got Bluetooth 5.1, we've got NFC. So those of you that want to do wireless payment and to be able to transfer content, data and stuff wirelessly between devices, NFC is going to help you out with that. We've got dual stereo speakers. We've got an under the display optical fingerprint sensor. We've got, again, a 90 hertz refresh rate. And I think I mentioned this earlier in the video. We've got a HDR 10 plus capabilities on the display. I mean, so you're going to be able to get some pretty stunning visuals while looking at content on this device. Now, the colors that you can get this device in, you can get it in onyx black, glacial green, which is very sweet, by the way, interstellar glow, which is what this is, and polar silver. All right. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and just take a quick look at the box. I mean, this is pretty dope. And, you know, red is my favorite color. You know, I love how OnePlus, they always come through with like the red and white, you know what I'm saying? But now they just was like, let's just go all red with the box for the 8. And you can see OnePlus 8 5G. All right, this is from T-Mobile. So you can order this from OnePlus's website, or you can get it at T-Mobile. And OnePlus has actually expanded as far as their devices being carried in carriers. I mean, they once were exclusive to T-Mobile. Now you can get the OnePlus 8 Pro at your local Verizon. So if you want the OnePlus 8, you can get that from T-Mobile. T-Mobile does not carry the OnePlus 8 Pro. But if you want to get the OnePlus 8 Pro, you can get that from your local Verizon store, or obviously you can get it from OnePlus's website. So you do have some options there. Those of you that are just like, hey, I ain't paying $700, $800, $900 for a phone. You know, you got a couple of different carrier options now where you can go ahead and, you know, put it on monthly installments or pay cash outright. You know, all you ballers out there, you know, get it how you live. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, it's good to see that OnePlus is growing in that particular regard. I know there was a major move for them to pair up with T-Mobile, for T-Mobile to start selling their devices, and now they've expanded to Verizon as well. So it's good to see, you know, the company expanding. But yeah, so the box here, got the 8 on the front there. To the right, we've just got OnePlus. At the top of the device, here's our serial number, IEMI information, all that. Again, here's the left of the device, OnePlus 8 5G. You already saw that. Here's the bottom of the device, just the OnePlus logo there. And then on the back of the device here, here's all of your, most of the most important, most pertinent specifications there. It's not going to tell you everything about the device, but that is where all this other mumbo jumbo doesn't matter. Let's get into this box. I try to get into this thing without cutting myself here. Boom, there we go. Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. Boom. There it is. All right. So, as you can see there, we are greeted with OnePlus. And it's the welcome start guide, SIM card, SIM ejection tool right there. Got some OnePlus trolling paraphernalia. You know what I'm saying? I mean, your partners that got other Android devices, or you got some homies that's rocking iPhones. You know, you can go ahead and troll them and stick a OnePlus sticker on their iPhone. you know, mess with them a little bit. Okay. So we'll toss that to the side. Now here is the device. And I like the way that this is packaged. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen, man. Looking real nice with that red. I love it. All right. Here is the device, ladies and gentlemen. And let's go ahead and just slide it on the package like so. Oh man, this feels so good in the hands. That 20:9 aspect ratio is nice and thin. And look at that, the interstellar glow. My goodness, ladies and gentlemen, this device is going to turn heads. Now, see, this is another thing that's interesting about OnePlus. This was a power play with this device. They knew exactly what they were doing, right? They were like, okay, we're gonna give the people the OnePlus 8 Pro, which has got everything. You know, it's the top. It's got the top cameras. It's got wireless charging. It's got an IP rating. You know, these are things that OnePlus. I mean, I've always thought that their cameras were solid. You know, but I guess the last year's iteration of the devices, a lot of people had things to say about their cameras. They performed well for me, but again, I'm not a camera professional. I just know what I see with my naked eye. You know what I mean? And the images that it produced to me looked really good, but they really stepped it up, with the Pro. And not to say that they're bad here, but from what I'm being told, you're going to get a little bit better camera performance and camera output overall from the OnePlus 8 Pro than the OnePlus 8 here, right? But OnePlus, they didn't just put all their eggs into the Pro and then just kind of throw this together and just kind of leave us hanging. Like, look at this. Like, the OnePlus 8 here is a more attractive looking device than the Pro if you got them side by side. Like, it's crazy. Let me go ahead and get this off of here so you guys can get that full effect or effect. Wow, look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful. And it's just like that as the light hits it. I mean, it's pink, it's purple, it's burgundy or like a garnet red, it's gold. I'm seeing some blue, some orange. Yeah, this is crazy. This is crazy. I'm gonna go ahead and power the device on. And okay. Took a minute. I was going to say, I know we got some juice. Set that aside while it's booting up, and we'll go through the rest of the inbox contents. All right. Now, here's our Warp charger. Okay. Typical OnePlus fashion. We get the red Warp charger with the white tips. Nice look. Nice premium look and feel. And then this little flap here. Here is our 30-watt charger. Look at this brick. That's what I'm talking about. Apple. Tim Cook. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know that y'all, I'm small time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so I'm pretty sure this video ain't going to find you. Or it just may. But if there's any other Apple representatives out there that stumbles across my video talking about this OnePlus 8, you might want to take some notes. And stop playing with us talking about these iPhones got fast charging capabilities, but then you want to turn around and have us pay for it as a separate accessory. Get out of here with that, man. All the money we're paying for your devices, put everything in the box, yo. You know what I'm saying? Everything should be all inclusive. Case, screen protector, fast charger, all that. Wireless charger. For the device that the price that we're paying for these phones, and then we still got to go and buy cases and screen. Man, get out of here, man. OnePlus, they put everything in the package. All right, so I like that. And let's see here. Man, is that it? I was almost sure there was gonna be a case in here. Hold up. Don't tell me OnePlus. They didn't put a case in here. They normally put a case in with their device. Wow. All right, well. OnePlus, they done went Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? They done start getting a little name. Now they're just like, oh, okay, yeah, we know. Yeah, we're going to up the prices and we're going to take some contents out the box. And Oh man, they don't win Hollywood on us, y'all. You know what I'm saying? They don't win Hollywood, man. Damn. All right. So here is the device in its entirety. As I mentioned, we've got a 6.5-inch display, and this feels really, really good in the hands. Again, the 20.9 aspect ratio really fits this device well. I've got really small hands, and so it's very easy for me to wield this device with absolutely no problems at all whatsoever. I love the fact that it's curved around the edges. You can see how like the display just kind of bleeds over into the side. It's not too dramatic, you know, but it's you know, I like that look. Like, I'm a fan of that look. You know, some people are bothered by it, and there's, oh my God, palm rejection. Oh God, you know, man, kill all that noise, man. The phone looks dope, you know, and you know, there's features under the settings to enable or disable palm rejection, you know, to stop you from accidental app presses and launching apps and stuff like that because of your hand brushing up against the corner of the display. You know, just people just be crying and just be looking for reasons to bash a phone for anything. But I mean, this looks dope. So, you know, it's curved around the front and the back, so it fits really, really good into the hand. I mean, it feels really nice and comfortable here in the palm of my hand as I hold it. This is one of the types of devices where it's lightweight, it's not heavy, and the build and the design, it feels really good in the hand. I can hold this in my hand for an extensive period of time and it not bother my hand. Certain devices are just very heavy. Others, they have more of like a squared off edge. And so after holding the device, that corner is digging into the palm of your hand, especially if it's a bigger device and you've got smaller hands like me. You know, that starts to get annoying. And then when you put the phone down, you know, I have like little redness here right there just from poking into the palm of my hand. Like that can get a bit annoying at times. But this, you can see it's like rounded at the edges. It's not too sharp, but not too rounded at the same time. It's perfect. And I like the hole punch. Like, I feel like I've you know, we've seen the notch, you know, we've seen the notch displays. That's kind of played now, right? You know, there's been tons of phones that have come out with the notch. The iPhone is still rocking that look. It is refreshing to see the iPhone 12 is going to have a little bit of a different design. Apparently it's still going to be rocking a notch, but it's just going to be a smaller notch. And so I'm definitely looking to see that. But I like this implementation right here. I mean, for one, when I'm viewing content, the notch does not bother me at all whatsoever. You know what I mean? Whether, you know, no matter what device that I had. But I mean, I think this particular implementation, I mean, for those of you that are really bothered by a notch and you just, it really interferes with your content viewing experience, you know, this little hole punch, something like this, I mean, this should be right up your alley. You know what I mean? When it comes to viewing your content. All right. So real quick, I'm not going to go through the whole setup, but I just want to get to that fingerprint sensor so you guys can see me set that up and see how quickly the setup is for an optical under the display fingerprint sensor. All right. All right, y'all. So just a quick demonstration of setting up this fingerprint sensor really quickly, and just to show you how simple it is. You know, for standard fingerprint sensors that are on, like, say, like the rear of a device, those always tend to be set up a little bit quicker. When it's an optical fingerprint sensor, it requires a little bit more time. You have to press your thumb on the display a little bit harder. You know, obviously, you know, not break your device, but you know, you just have to kind of position your thumb certain ways just to make sure that, you know, it's being scanned properly so that it can identify you and open up your device. All right, so we'll go ahead and hit next here. And oh, it's asking me to create a pin real quick, which I will do. Boom. Okay. All right. So here we go. And obviously, you know, where the light is right there, that's where you need to place your thumb. And here we go. And the phone, you know, it vibrates, indicating that your thumb is being pressed on it correctly. But then it'll vibrate a couple times and the wording will shake up there as it's done several times if you're doing it incorrectly. Okay, so now it's telling me to kind of like Scroll my thumb downward a little bit. So you have to kind of position your thumb a little bit differently. There you go. Fingerprint added. All right. So that was that. I'm going to go ahead and get my information put into the phone. Well, not download anything because I want to show you guys the exact amount of storage that you have fresh out of the box. So I'm just going to go ahead and get it to the home screen, desktop, and then I'll be right back and we'll browse the phone a little bit more. All right. Hold it down. All right, y'all, we back in. Welcome to the desktop for the OnePlus 8. Now, I gotta say, man, after, you know, playing around with this phone for a little bit, just kind of toggling certain settings, getting things set up to my liking. Again, I didn't download any of my applications on here because I want to give you guys a real clear understanding of the amount of gigabytes that you get with this device fresh out of the box. But, you know, just playing around with some of the settings, looking at some of the features and functions, touch gestures, all that kind of stuff. Man, I mean, this is a very, very, very impressive package. And, you know, Oxygen OS being what it is, you have so many things that you can customize to really tailor make this phone to your liking. And I'm a big fan of that, you know, and I think that that's one of the main things that Android has the edge over Apple. You know what I mean? A lot of people want, you know, customizability as opposed to simplicity. You know what I'm saying? Some people are more so into simplicity over customizability, and they rock with iPhones. You know what I mean? So first off, really quickly, as you can see, this beautiful display here, again, this is, again, a 1080p AMOLED display. Okay, we've got HDR10 plus capabilities on this display. This display is absolutely gorgeous, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, this is another this is just another clear-cut example that you do not need a 4K display, right? I mean, this is, you know, a full 1080p display. Same thing with the LG V60. You know, it's got a, you know, 1080p POLED panel as well, and it looks fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, so you're viewing your viewing content experience on this device shouldn't be anything short of stellar. You know what I mean? And speaking of stellar, like, I mean, I'm just amazed by how beautiful this display is. But look at this beautiful Aura Glow color, ladies and gentlemen. My goodness. All right, so just to kind of go over some of the hardware really quickly. Again, 6.5 inches corner to corner on this device. Okay. Love the fact that we got the double tap to wake and the double tap to sleep. You know, they tore a page out of LG's playbook on that one. LG originated that. But, you know, hey, you know, one company starts it and it gets adopted by a lot of other manufacturers. I mean, so that's a good thing, I guess. Now, to the right of the device, we've got our power button and our alert slider. Okay, and the alert slider can be customized to do different things. If you want to slide it up, you can set it to do something. If you want to slide it down, you can set it to do something. So that's a nice little feature to have. You know, just, you know, you can toggle things in the settings to set it how you want it. And I can show you that a little later on the video. Now, at the top of the device here, you see we've got an antenna line right there, another noise canceling microphone right there, and another antenna line. On the left of the device, we have another antenna line, and then here we have our volume rocker. And so, no, ladies and gentlemen, we do not have the volume rocker and the power key all on the same side. We've got the volume rocker on the left side of the device, and the power button and the sleep button and the alert slider all on the right side of the device. Now, for some of you, that may be an issue. Others, not so much. Me, doesn't really matter. It's not really a big deal. I would have preferred for all the buttons to have been on the right side, because although I am a lefty, I am extremely ambidextrous and I always hold my phones in my right hand. And, you know, it's just nice to have everything accessible, like right where your thumb typically falls, rather than if I want to increase the volume, I have to kind of reach over awkwardly with my index finger here, or, you know, it just becomes a two-handed operation and I have to reach up with my left hand and toggle the volume. Okay, so I mean, those are the types of things that having buttons on both sides of the device can cause. But I mean, you know, it's a preference thing. I mean, if you want to allow that to be the determining factor, hey, it is what it is. You know, me, I'm not really bothered by that so much. All right, now, bottom left, we have another antenna line. On the bottom of the device here, we've got our SIM tray, another antenna line. Here's our Type-C port for the fast charging, another antenna line, and here's our bottom firing speaker. We do have dual stereo speakers, so one is bottom firing, the other one is coming out of the earpiece, which is right there at the top of the device. You can see the little slit right there in the light. God, the design of this phone is just so beautiful. And then to the back, that beautiful interstellar glow color, my goodness. You see we've got the OnePlus branding right there on the bottom, and then we've got the actual OnePlus logo right there. You can see that in the reflection. Here's our dual tone LED flash, and then here is our triple camera system right there. All right, so God, I'm so amazed by how this phone feels in hand. And you know, for me, ladies and gentlemen, the top dog right now is the S20 Ultra. And so this OnePlus is you know, I'm gonna see if this is gonna take the reins from the S20 Ultra, because this S20 Ultra is just look, man, there ain't no other way to slice it. This S20 Ultra is a badass phone, man. Period. Point blank. You know, people, they talk trash about the camera and the autofocus issues and blah, blah, blah. I haven't had no such issue since I've got this phone out of the box. Okay. I did receive the update that was pushed by Samsung to correct this issue. But trust me when I tell you, I wasn't having an autofocus problem before the update, and I'm still not having an autofocus problem after the update. I don't know what these cats are talking about as far as the camera only being like decent on the S20 Ultra. That is ridiculous. The cameras on this phone are just absolutely monstrous. And so, you know, can the OnePlus top this? That's a tall task. And ladies and gentlemen, I mean, I even still have the iPhone SE 2nd generation in the house. You know, after I made the video and just completely slammed Apple for giving us this, I decided to hang on to it for a little bit. And the more I hang on to it, the more I've grown to like this little device. And I've got more videos coming about this device. So definitely keep it locked here at Pristine Mobile Tech. But yeah, the OnePlus 8, wow. This, I mean, for $699, for some people to sit there and consider this phone to not be a flagship, I think what this is even though $700 is still pricey, considering what the prices that flagship devices are going today, I think that this is OnePlus still being a part of that flagship killer conversation. You know what I mean? Because let's face it, ladies and gentlemen, in 2020, your top tier Android devices that you can get your hands on, flagship wise, with the exception of the LG V60, which is definitely a flagship, but it doesn't cost as much as a lot of the other flagships do. You've got the same specifications, ladies and gentlemen. You've got that Snapdragon 865 processor, anywhere from 8 to 12 gigs of RAM. You know what I'm saying? I mean, storage, you know, refresh rate, beautiful screen, features, functions, dual stereo speakers, all that type of stuff, man. I mean, how come this isn't a flagship? Like, no knock to, you know, I love my man Jaime Rivera from Pocket Now, man. I watch him daily. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you know, I've heard him make references to the OnePlus 8 as though this is not a flagship because of its pricing, and only referring to the OnePlus 8 Pro as though it's the flagship. But speaking as this, if the OnePlus 8 here is like a mid-ranger, if you will, it's like, come on, Jaime. Come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is a flagship. You know, and it can be considered a flagship killer by today's standards, according to the prices that we're paying for a lot of these flagship devices. So I think that OnePlus with this is still a part of that conversation. Okay, they got to be still in the conversation. I mean, any device that look, here it is, ladies and gentlemen, any device that comes out with the latest specifications that cost around $500 or $600, maybe $700, it's going to be viewed as a flagship killer because of the fact that you got other devices that are flagships that are $1,000 and over. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what makes a device a flagship killer? Pricing. You know what I mean? If I can make a device that has just as much as this other device and undercut them in cost, well, that's a flagship killer. You know what I'm saying? This S20 Ultra costs $1,400. And I mean, yeah, there are two other renditions. I mean, you can get the S20 Plus, or you can just get the regular S20, but the S20 Plus, that's going to run you $1,100. You know what I'm saying? The S20, the regular version, is still $1,000. You know what I mean? This is $699. And I would say that this is a better phone than the regular $1,000 S20 at $699. Well, that sounds like a flagship killer to me. I mean, if I'm wrong, somebody correct me in the comments, please. You know, I think we're starting to see misconceptions on what a flagship killer actually means and what it really is. And I understand, you know, it's also about like features and functions and so forth. But come on. $700 is still a pretty penny. I would expect everything that this phone is housing for $700. I would expect it to have. You know what I mean? And it would be less of a flagship if it didn't have these things. So let the truth be told, ladies and gentlemen, OnePlus can still be a part of the flagship killer conversation. Okay, you know, we've seen price inflations as the years have gone on, and it's like now we still have that flagship killer device if you don't want to pay anywhere close to $1,000. But we got the OnePlus 8 Pro if you just want a little more, if you want a little bit more, if you want a little bit better cameras, if you want the IP rating, if you want the wireless charging. Mind you, OnePlus devices have never had such things. So that in itself, ladies and gentlemen, is pretty groundbreaking and revolution for OnePlus, considering the fact that other devices have had these technologies for a very long time. OnePlus has not. So, you know, you pick your poison. What you want? You want that Pro? Or you want to pay a little less for still a great smartphone? You're getting a lot of bang for your buck. You tell me. Now, as I scroll across this beautiful 90 Hertz refresh rated display, as you can see, just total responsiveness, barely tapping this thing, very fluid. Okay. Now, again, like I said, I haven't loaded any of my applications on this device. Oxygen OS. You know, they keep it clean. They try to keep it near stock. You know, OnePlus, you know, they've got a couple of, you know, a few little OnePlus additions in there. I don't mind those things. This phone does not come with a bunch of bloatware. Again, this is the T-Mobile variant. And so as you can see there is a couple of T-Mobile applications, T-Mobile and then T-Mobile Play or T-Mobile Pay. Yeah, T-Mobile Play. Not exactly sure what that is, but I'm not going to use that. So I am going to delete that. Now, just really quick before we get into the settings, just real quick, I like the fact that we have the features to double tap to sleep, again, double tap to wake up. Here's our fingerprint sensor. This has to be the fastest under the display optical fingerprint sensor on planet Earth. I mean, you barely touch it and boom, it's just in there, right? It just goes right to the home screen and gets you where you need to be. All right, now another thing that I love about the OnePlus devices is oh my goodness, that dark mode. Okay, OnePlus was the one who I don't think that I've ever had a device that had the dark mode on it before the OnePlus 3. Right? And then it also gave you the ability to customize the accent colors. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Oxygen OS, they offer you a lot of different things to toggle and customize. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, you're really getting a lot of bang for your buck here at $699. And you can probably get this phone for less than that if you're coming with the trade-in or if you're switching over from a carrier over to T-Mobile. I mean, I'm pretty sure this being a new device, they've got some kind of promotions going on to where you probably can get this device right now for less than $699. I mean, so it's worth to take a look to see what they've got cooking if you're in the market for a new phone, preferably this device right here. But as you can see, typical Android 10 looking list of settings here. We've got Wi-Fi and internet, Bluetooth and device connection, display, customization, sound and vibration, buttons and gestures, apps and notifications, security and lock screen, privacy, location, battery, storage, accounts, digital well-being and parental controls, Google, utilities, system, and about phone. Now, really quickly, when I pop into the storage really quickly, this is telling me that of 128 gigabytes of storage that this phone supposedly comes with, the pre-installed applications are utilizing 25.59 gigabytes. Okay. So, you know, you're getting about, you know, a little over 100 gigabytes of free storage space. 128 gig. This is taking up 25.59. Mind you, I haven't downloaded any of my applications. I haven't ported anything over from my other devices. I haven't done like a restore or anything like that. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is from all the applications that have been pre-installed on this phone. Okay. It's taking up 25 gigs. Okay. So I just want to show you that really quickly. Now, what we will do, we will pop into the display and you've got adaptive brightness, sleep mode, advanced. When you pop into advanced, you've got screen calibration. And this is where you can change your screen color temperature, if you will, to vivid, natural, or advanced. And if you go to advanced, you can toggle the AMOLED wide gamut, the sRGB 8, display P3, and then this little slider down here. If you slide it to the left, you can get a more cool effect. If you slide it to the right, you get a more warm effect. Right now, it's in the middle. I'm not going to touch it, and I'm actually going to pop that back on vibrant. Vibrant has a tendency to, oversaturate a little bit, but I like it. Colors are nice and sharp and vibrant. I like that. But I mean, you know, if you're not a big fan of the oomph that the vivid option gives you as far as, you know, detail and how colors and things look, then you can just go ahead and hit natural, and it's going to make colors a little bit more natural. Okay. And like I said, if you want to customize it further, you can just go ahead and hit advanced and do what you do. Okay. You got lots to play with right there to customize this beautiful screen to your liking. Now, screen refresh rate. If you want to change the refresh rate from 90 to 60, this is where you go. I don't understand why anybody would do that, but if you want to change it to 60 hertz, you can definitely do that. Now, you know, to me, I wasn't like tripping over like refresh rates, whether it was 90 or 120, but ladies and gentlemen, trust me, and maybe to the average consumer, this isn't going to matter. But on this S20 Ultra, where you have the ability to toggle 120 hertz refresh rate or not, when you turn this feature on, and it sucks because you can't have this on while you've got the resolution turned all the way up to 4K. You know what I'm saying? You can only turn on the 120 hertz refresh rate on 1080p, but I'm not tripping over that because the display is absolutely stunning in 1080p. But just look at that fluidity, ladies and gentlemen. And I didn't think that there was going to be a big deal until I turned it on, and then I turned it off and went back to 60 hertz, and you see a difference. And I'm one of those guys to where I'm extremely meticulous. A lot of little details that get by a lot of people, or things that a lot of people wouldn't notice, I notice those things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just notice little things. You know what I'm saying? Like listening to music. Spotify, that's my primary music application. But Apple Music, the music quality is a little better. Listen to a song on Spotify and then listen to the same song on Apple Music and tell me if it isn't going to sound like crisper and clearer on Apple Music. Like little details like that may slip by people. You know what I'm saying? And so just for the optimal listening experience, I listen to Apple Music more so, even though I've got way more music files and playlists on Spotify. I just pay for both subscriptions because I'm just a music junkie like that. I don't know. That may be weird to some of you, but it is what it is. But yeah, just, you know, little things like that. I mean, Xbox One, PS4, you know, cross-platform games. Games just look a little bit better on the PS4 than they do on the Xbox, even though we're talking about the same game. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so it's like me, I choose to ride with the PS4. Well, I'm just a PlayStation guy anyway, but it's like the PlayStation 4 gives me the cleaner look. Like some people are, you know, you can have an Xbox game and a PS4 game side by side and they could not tell the difference, you know, 1080p or 4K display, whatever going. But me, I could see the difference. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just that huge on like little details, and I can appreciate those things. But for the average consumer, that's probably not going to be a big deal. But ladies and gentlemen, trust me when I tell you, if you're into screen fluidity and just some of the smoothest motion that you could ever witness on your display, and let's face it, ladies and gentlemen, our smartphones are the screens that we're looking at the most. Why wouldn't you want it to be as smooth and as vibrant as it possibly can be? And so if any phone that I have has an option to up the refresh rate, it's gonna happen. Okay, my days of rocking 60 hertz refresh rates are done. Now, I'm not gonna slam a phone and just use that as a determining factor. Like, oh my God, I'm not gonna rock with that phone because it ain't got the high refresh rate. If it only comes standard with 60, I mean, I can deal with it. But I'm just saying, if the phone has the feature to up the refresh rate to either 90 or 100, trust me, that's what's popping off. You know what I'm saying? So if you have this device, you can turn it down to 90 if you want to, or turn it down to 60 if you want to. But on mine, 90 is where it's staying at. Now, if you want to one up it to 120 hertz, then you can, you know, pay that extra. That extra greenery, you know what I'm saying, and get yourself the OnePlus 8 Pro. The OnePlus 8 Pro has a 120 hertz refresh rate. So, you know, it's going to look more like this type of fluidity. Look at that. I mean, that is just stupid, ladies and gentlemen, on the S20 Ultra. I don't know if just looking at it through the lens of this Sony 4K camera does it justice, man. I mean, it's ridiculous. But this is where you toggle that on the OnePlus 8. Front camera display area. Now this is dope. Now look, let me go ahead and hold up. Let me do this real quick. Let me go to customizations. And actually, what? Illuminating light. Okay, so let's go back under display. Go back under ambient display. Oh, where was I at? I was under advanced. Okay, now front camera display. Now, for those of you that don't like the hole punch in the left corner, if you don't want to see that there, you've got show the front camera, hide the front camera. So if you want to hide the front camera, pay attention to the top of the phone and watch what happens to the front camera. It disappears. Now, what it does, ladies and gentlemen, is it gives you a forehead. I don't know how you feel about that. Some people don't really care too much about that. Me personally, I don't mind the look of the camera punch hole being in the left corner, and I want to take full advantage of as much screen real estate as possible. So you see what that does is it kind of shrinks your screen down a little bit, hides the camera, but now you got this big black bar at the top. Now, if that doesn't bother you because you don't want to look at that little punch hole camera, then fine. Do what you do, and I'm happy that OnePlus added that feature in there, being, you know, keeping those folks in mind. But for me, the camera is totally non-intrusive. You get more screen real estate, and it just gives the phone a cleaner look, right? You know, it's just, you know, I'm just into more of that futuristic design, and that's what this is. I mean, more of just that completely bezel-less design. I mean, like I said, this is 88.7% screen to body ratio, you know? So, you know, I just want to take full advantage of the screen. And I mean, just for the sake of the video, I got the navigation bars up just so that I can easily navigate the phone while I'm shooting this video. But I mean, trust me, when this video is over, I'm going to touch gestures. So that's going to give me a little bit more screen real estate here at the bottom. And I'll be able to take, you know, fuller advantage of my full screen. You see what I'm saying? But I just wanted to show you guys that real quick. It's kind of hard to see when you've got it in dark mode. Okay, but I just wanted to let you guys know that there is an option to hide that camera if you're not a fan of it. All right, so shout out to OnePlus for adding that little morsel of detail. And then we got apps to display in full screen. So a lot of apps, they may not be optimized for full screen by default. They can operate in full screen, but you have to manually tell the phone or command the application to function in full screen. And that's what that is right there. Okay. Now, real quick, I'm just going to go back into customizations and throw in that dark mode real quick. Bam. There we go. Oh, it got rid of my accent color? Okay, well, look, this is where you want to change the accent color. When you put the phone in dark mode, it's going to give you these little options right here. Okay, and this is your customization. So this is where you can toggle your wallpapers, your clock style for the always on display or for the ambient display, the fingerprint animation. Okay, you can change that and you can see different ones to choose, give you a cool little animation, or if you don't want it to do anything. Okay, that's pretty cool right there. Rock with that. Well, let's see the ripples. Yeah, that's pretty dope. I like that. Okay, so we'll rock with the ripples. We'll go to the accent color. Again, red and black is my favorite color, so I'm gonna go ahead and pimp that red and black. But I mean, again, here you've got like a preview of what it's going to look like. And you've got all these different colors to choose from. So you see what I'm saying? I mean, Oxygen OS, they give you a lot to customize. You choose your color that you like. You hit the little check here at the top right, and boom, there's your color accents. Okay, you can change the tone. So like just different. This is what it'll look like when it's dark. This is what it'll look like when it's light. Okay, icon shapes. You know, I'm a fan of the square, but you got teardrop or round or round rectangle, or just rounded. I like the square, so I just keep it on square. You got a couple of different icon packs right there, just to make your icons look different. So you can go circular, or I think that's hydrogen or something. It gives the icons a more square look, so I just choose that. And then you got a couple of different font sizes that OnePlus implemented, but of course you can download more. And you can see that one font size is a little bigger, the other one is a little smaller. The Roboto is the one is by default. OnePlus Slate, that's the second one that you've got. And those are the only two that come preloaded on the phone. You have to download any more fonts if you want them. All right, but this is what it is under your customization settings. All right, now again, under Bluetooth and device connection, here's our NFC, Bluetooth cast, tap and pay, printing, Chromebook. Just to verify that NFC, just, you know, for those of you that wanted clarification, there that is. All right. Under sound and vibration, we got the ring volume, media volume, alarm volume. We do have Dolby Atmos, and so if you click on Dolby Atmos, here is your ability to, you know, toggle that. You've got dynamic movie or music. Okay, and I believe that there is an equalizer that you can get into and customize sound even more. Okay, do not disturb, earphone mode, you got autoplay, smart answer for Bluetooth, speak caller ID, notification ringtone and earpiece, Bluetooth absolute volume right there. Okay, SMS ringtone and vibration, notification sound and vibration, system sounds and touch vibration. Okay, a lot of stuff to play with, buttons and gestures. Now with the alert slider. Okay, So what the alert slider does is just actually, it's kind of like on the iPhone, how like you have your little, this is the alert slider on the iPhone. And it's like when you toggle it off, then it just mutes all the sound. When you toggle it back on, then all your sound reappears. Well, the alert slider, you can slide it down all the way for it to be on ring, which is what it's on right now. You can slide it to the middle for vibration, or you can slide it all the way up top for silent. Well, what you can do is you can customize that. So it's like if I want it to ring, if I want the ringtones and all the notification sounds and everything to be at the top, I can program it to slide the slider up to the top, and that's what it's going to do. If I want silent at the bottom, or if I want vibration at the bottom, whatever. This is just what the configuration is by default out of the box, but you don't have to keep it like this. So you can program that alert slider to do what you want it to do. You know, like I said, if I want silent to be at the bottom, I can program that. You see? So that's pretty dope. And then you got navigation bar and gestures. So this is where you can choose to elect to have the navigation bar at the bottom, or touch gestures. And if you choose touch gestures, it will give you a tutorial on how to use those gestures. All right. So that's where that is. Quick gestures, flip to mute. So, you know what I'm saying? I mean, if you don't want your phone to make a sound at all, you can just have it, put it on its face, and while it's on its face, it's muted. You will not receive notification sounds. You will not receive phone calls. You know what I'm saying? I mean, brothers, sisters out there living that creep life. You know what I'm saying? I mean, see, with this phone, you can get away with that. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, if I was rocking with a chick and she had this phone and she had it face down, if I were to ask her, hey babe, what's up, babe? You know what I'm saying? Why you got your phone's face down? You know what I'm saying? You trying to hide something? If she was just like, no, baby, look at that interstellar glow. Look at that design. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the phone is just so beautiful, and I just want to be able to appreciate it in its entirety and just look at it. You know what I'm saying? You know, pick it up and just let some light shine on it and be mesmerized. You know what I'm saying? I mean, with this interstellar glow, man, you can get away with that. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing at all that the reason why it's really on his face is because you're trying to hide your side piece from calling in, you know what I'm saying, at odd hours. You know what I'm saying? You ain't trying to get caught up, you know? Now, I don't know nothing about that life. You know what I'm saying? I'm just speaking to those, you know what I'm saying, that's about that life. You know what I'm saying? So, Miss Pristine, if you peep this video, man, don't even trip. You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking to the people. This ain't got nothing to do with me. All right? Just want to clarify that. Now, we've got 3-finger screenshot. You just take 3 fingers, swipe them down, screenshot just like that. Raise to answer or switch. And so if you just want to put the phone to your ear to answer it when it's ringing, then that's what that is. Raise to switch. Huh? No, I'm not even going to strain my eyes trying to read those little words. So I'll for the full review, I'll have that for you. But hold up. I gotta see what this is. What is this? Oh, okay. Okay, so raise to switch is, say if my phone is connected to a Bluetooth, like if I've got my Plantronics my V5200 you know, this bad boy right here, this is one of the best, if not the best, Bluetooth device on planet Earth in my personal opinion, besides, you know, the comfortable fit of the AirPods. But say either I'm rocking my Plantronics Bluetooth or one of my AirPods or my Galaxy Buds, any kind of Bluetooth device, if I want to switch the call from my Bluetooth earpiece to the phone, all I got to do is just put the phone to my ear and it will switch sound from the Bluetooth to the phone. And then it's like when I take the phone away from my ear, the sound will go back to the Bluetooth. That's pretty dope. Okay, yeah, so I'll leave that on. I'll leave that on. I mean, I don't put my Bluetooth in my ear to put the phone in my ear, but say if my if my Bluetooth died, then automatically it's going to go to the phone. So I don't know. Maybe I'll turn that off. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to use that. But that is a nice little feature if you needed to use that for something. But that's what that is. So I'm glad that I was able to show that off. All right. Now, double tap to wake, music control. All right. And then you've got these little letters and things that you can draw on the screen to control different things. So if you draw O, you can program that to open the camera, open the front camera, record a video, turn on and off the flashlight. Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. If I draw a V, I can program that to do one of the same things, or I can have it choose one of these apps to open up. You know, if I draw an S, you know, I can program this to open Spotify. So I can just S and boom, it'll take me to Spotify if that's what I program it to do. I can draw an M, I don't know, M money. You know what I'm saying? I mean, draw an M, I can program that to go to my credit union if I want to check out my account balances or do some online banking. You know what I'm saying? You know, draw a W, and you can program that for whatever you want that to open. You see what I'm saying? I mean, so you've got a lot of customizations on this device. You could, you know, there's actual touch gestures, and you can draw letters with your fingers to do things. Okay, how cool is that? Now, I've seen that before. I've never really used it, but you know, it's just something to utilize to, you know, enhance the experience for you if that's something that you'd use, right? All right. Now we've got double click the power button. And right now by default, that's set to open up the camera, or you can hit none. I'll just leave that on. And then you've got press and hold the power button. And right now that's set to Google Assistant. Okay. But I'm so used to saying HAY Google. I'm not going to say it actually because it's going to trigger these little phones that I got around my desk. And I ain't trying to hear that voice right now. Yeah, I'll turn that off. I don't need that to be on. But that's what that is. Okay, so that falls under the buttons and gestures category. And then we've got apps and notifications, security and lock screen, privacy, location, battery. Okay, again, with the battery, you've got all kind of different optimizations to optimize this battery. Again, I mentioned we've got 4,300 milliamps for the battery. So like I said, I mean, I'm very anxious to test this battery to see what type of battery life it gives. It being a flagship device. Flagships are coming out nowadays with, you know, 4,000 or 5,000. Well, 4,300. That's not bad. That's not bad. I've gotten so used to 5,000. I mean, I know the S20 Ultra has got a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. My LG V60 here has got a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's phones, these phones nowadays, man, they're just coming out with big batteries, you know? So, but 4,300 milliamps is not small by any stretch of the imagination. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to get some decent battery life out of this phone, especially how I use my phone, which is light to moderate. But of course, you know, that first go round, that first charge, I go hard and I try to kill it, you know, to see how fast it takes. So I'll have that information in future videos that I'm going to be releasing for the OnePlus 8. But I'm expecting to get good battery life out of this device. But we've got battery optimizations here, apps that are running normally. The phone tells you that. There's a little green icon right there that indicates that everything is functioning as it ought to. Battery saver, battery optimization. And just remember, ladies and gentlemen, when you optimize your battery through some of the battery optimization settings, you are always going to do without something. Okay, you may not have access to certain applications. You may not have access to browse the web. You know, but the phone has to disable certain things in order to give you that battery sustainability that you're looking for. So just be mindful of that. You know, if some people have turned on battery optimization options, but they didn't read the fine print as to what the phone was going to disable to allow more battery. And they actually thought that their phone was broken because they weren't able to function certain things. And then they'll ask me to look at the phone. And I'm like, okay, well, did you toggle any of the battery optimizations? Oh, yeah, my battery was getting low, man. So I turned this on. And then that's the opportunity to explain to them, well, yo, when you turn on these optimizations, there's always something that the phone shuts down to give you that battery life that you're looking to get until you can get it charged up. So just be mindful of that. You know, if you're planning on using any of these battery optimizations, the phone has to disable certain things in order to give you more battery life until you're able to get it charged up. All right. Boom. Optimized charging. Okay. I like that. And just to clarify, okay, so it optimizes your charging based on how you use the phone. And, you know, these smartphones, they learn your habits. They learn your behaviors. And so the more you use the device and the more you charge it, the phone will get familiar with your charging habits. And, yeah, it will optimize itself to, you know, based on how you use and charge your phone, which is dope. So that's that under battery accounts. Digital well-being. This is a tool to help you, you know, figure out, you know, what you're doing most on your phone, and also to help you stay on top of your device's health. You know, and you can set things up in here, you know, to prompt you when certain things are not really functioning optimally, or, you know, if your device needs to restart, you know, it will notify you that, hey, you might want to restart your device. It's been some days now. You know, these are little computers in our pockets. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so it's good to, you know, reboot them every other night, you know, just do a quick restart, you know, keep things running fresh, keep updates coming in. Sometimes, you know, phones have a lot of updates that have downloaded to the device, but it can't finish the update without the phone restarting. And so, you know, it's just good to just, you know, stay on top of stuff like that to make sure that your phone is always functioning at an optimal level. All right. So, yeah, that's digital well-being. Then, of course, Google. If we pop down in the utilities, we've got quick launch. Okay. Turn on quick launch using quick launch. Well, what is this? 1 second. Long press the fingerprint identification area to launch quick pay. Oh, okay. So what that is if you like hold your thumb down on the fingerprint sensor, then, whoa, well, let's test that out. Oh, well, nothing happened. Oh, duh, I gotta turn it on. Okay, now let's see what it does. Still interesting. Whatever, I'll play with that later. But in the meantime, I'm gonna turn it off. Okay, then shortcut settings, voice search, new note, new event for shortcut settings. All right. And then using quick launch, it tells you right there, kind of gives you like a little brief tutorial on what that does. All right. And then of course, system, accessibility, language and input, date and time, backup, reset options, OTG storage, experience improvement programs, multiple users, RAM boost, Android system updates. There was one update that I got right when I took this phone out of the box. I mean, so that was good to see. And then, ladies and gentlemen, this is how you power off your device down at the bottom. Like if you've got your power button optimized or programmed to be like the Google Assistant button, if you like hold it down, all the way at the bottom of the settings, this is where you go to turn off your phone. Okay. But you can also set the power button to be that as well. And you can just turn off the Google Assistant and just use the power button for turning off the phone's power and back on. All right. Now, real quick, enable RAM boost. This is just going to help your phone, you know, manage stuff in the RAM a little better. The phone has 8 gigs of RAM. Again, that's overkill. You know, 8 gigs of RAM is a lot. You got more gigs of RAM in these phones than you do in computers. It's got a RAM boost, you know, so, you know, just want to point that out, you know, for those of you that want it to know. All right, now we'll pop over into, and I like when you swipe hard to the right, you've got your Google Now feed. As you can see here, I get a lot of information here. Ooh, what? Galaxy A50. I told cats, Galaxy A51 is tragic proof that Samsung can't beat the iPhone SE. I said it. I said if Samsung tries to come after this SE with the Galaxy A51, they're making a huge mistake, because the A51 is a true mid-range device. It's not a bad device, it's a good device, but it's a mid-range phone. You cannot compare the mid-range specifications to what's inside of this SE, which is the same thing that's inside of the iPhone 11s. It's like, Samsung, what are you doing? Like, what Samsung needs to do is re-release the S10e, or give us the S10e body style with the Snapdragon 865. And this thing is destroyed. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing that makes this SE such a beast and such a problem is the internals. And I'm really digging the form factor. It's just so compact, and yeah. I said it. And I can't believe Samsung went along with that. But it is what it is. So, cameras. Let's get into it. All right, so you see we have photo, portrait, nightscape, pro mode, and you've got all your pro mode settings and things there. Okay, and as you can see just by scrolling the screen, you can get to the different toggles. We've got video, we've got slow motion, we've got panorama, we've got time lapse. Okay, you can see with the photo, we have 2x optical zoom there, and then here is our ultra wide sensor right there. Here's our standard sensor. And then up top, we've got our timer, our auto flash. Wait, what is this? Oh, 48 millimeter, 12 megapixel, 48 megapixel. Okay, so that's where you can change your megapixel count. Here is, what is that? Oh, super macro. Okay, so we'll turn that off. And then here is these little filters, and it tells you what it is. No filter, matte, vivid, or black and white. Okay, so we'll go to none, and we'll go ahead and get rid of that. Now, see up top here at the top right, we've got settings. Click on that. So we've got ultra shot HDR, aspect ratio. We see we got 4.3, full or 1.1. Smart content detection, mirrored selfie photo, video resolution. Now you see we've got 1080p at 30, 1080p at 60, 4K at 30, 4K at 60, 4K at Cinema 30, or 4K at Cine 60. Okay, and then slow motion, we got 720p at 480 frames per second, or 1080p at 240 frames per second. All right, by default, it's at 1080 30. I'm gonna keep it right there. Okay, now nightscape, tripod long exposure, histogram, horizontal reference line, custom modes. Oh, so these are, you can just customize the mode so that when you're in the viewfinder, you can toggle, like when you side scroll, you can toggle what you want to have down there to be able to side scroll to and from. That's dope. Okay, grid, watermark, shot on OnePlus, watermark, so I can differentiate photos since I take photos with so many different devices. Store location data and about. All right, now go ahead and flash a quick picture. The OnePlus 8 box right there. Quick shutter speed. Get in a quick selfie real quick. I like the fact that when the selfie mode, when it's on selfie mode, you see there's a little ring around the camera right there. That's dope. I'm a big fan of that. I like that. So you'll know exactly where the camera is. You'll know where to look. Okay. Now, there's a selfie. Beautiful. Beautiful color reproduction. Detail. My skin tone. No overexposing. Nothing. Okay. Here is the shot of the box that I took. There's the SE right there with the S20 Ultra right next to it. Beautiful. Okay. Stay tuned for the camera review because I'm going to be putting that together and publishing that shortly. So ladies and gentlemen, that's all that I've got for the unboxing and a hardware and software tour for the OnePlus 8. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to expose yourself to tons of more videos that I've done like this one. Be sure to check out my catalog because I got a lot of content, a lot of good phones to choose from. Be sure to hit that notifications bell so that every time my videos go live, you'll get notified and you can be one of the first to check out the video. And get down in the comments section and let me know what you think. Give me some feedback. Hit me with some questions, comments, and that's where I'll be chilling at responding to those questions and comments. All right. Now, before I get out of here, I just want to continue to encourage all of my brothers and sisters out there, all of you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, no matter what, you know, nationality, race, creed, gender, nothing, we're all God's children. You know what I'm saying? We've never seen anything like this with this global pandemic that's going on. And it's sickening to think that because of economic reasons, because of money, y'all, you know what I'm saying? This is living proof that value of life is a non-factor when it comes to money. But all these states wanting to reopen is foolery. It's as if they feel like they've got a cure for this disease. And it's just like, oh, well, anybody that gets this COVID-19, we'll just go ahead and just give them the vaccine and they'll be good to go. No, they're still working on the cure. And they're saying that it could be anywhere from, you know, a year, year and a half to 2 years before there's a cure. And so if we start reopening everything and not focusing on social distancing, all it takes is for one person to get this disease or this virus, spread it to somebody else who can then spread it to other people, spread it to another person, spread it to another person. And next thing you know, we got another pandemic, another mass casualties going around, lots of people dying, lots of people sick. And for what? Stay home, ladies and gentlemen. Stay healthy. I know it's tough times right now, but your life matters. You know what I'm saying? There's a purpose for your life or God wouldn't have put you here. You know what I'm saying? Be smart. Don't let this corrupt, money-motivated government make you feel as though economic stimulus is more important than your life. All right? That's all I'm going to say about that. I understand it's tough times and people aren't working and people's businesses are being shut down and people are falling on hard times. Like, I get it. I get it. But in order to be able to do something about that, to maintain your things, guess what you got to be? You got to be alive, baby. You know what I'm saying? If you in a box somewhere, it don't make no difference. You know what I'm saying? Let's preserve life, man. Stay home, stay healthy, put God first. Don't be afraid. Wash your hands, practice good hygiene, social distance, wear a mask, and keep it pristine in every aspect of your lives. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.